Well, hello everyone. My name is Swamp, and happy Memorial Day. Today, we're going to be checking out some great advice, some life advice, everything from, I guess, dinner etiquette, dating etiquette, how to not be an emotional mess, work advice, all from the 1950s. And of course, we have to start with an amazing cartoon, as always.
Thou shalt eat only the rations inspected, found fit, and provided for thy use. For verily, many native foods contain poisons more treacherous than a Jap warlord. Somebody once said, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. That is, everybody's but McGillicuddy's. He's particular. He doesn't like Vienna sausage. He doesn't realize he's in the South Pacific. He thinks he's in the Brown Derby. Yeah, I know, Mac. It's monotonous. The same thing day after day. But it's good food, and it's good for you. But Mac will show him how to get along on a South Pacific island. He's a gourmet. A gastronomical Robinson Crusoe. Yeah, they look like bananas.
I wonder if Private
like
McGillicuddy was... Must have been before Private Snafu, right?
They don't taste like bananas, do they?
I don't really know.
You know why? Because they're not bananas. They're plantains, and you can't eat them raw.
Plantains?
Well, what's this? A native victory garden, no doubt. Carrots? Rutabagas? Turnips? Well, whatever they are, they're sure beauties. Well kept. Well cultivated. But these boys are not just passing the time. They're passing the fertilizer.
Uh-oh, am I going to get in trouble for showing this
nowhere.
depiction of natives?
While this sort of fertilizer
This was a different era, all right?
It produces a lot more than just vegetables. Take a look and you'll see what I mean. No, she ain't it?
Oh boy, apples.
Yeah, Mac. Beach apples. Good, huh? But you know what they do to you? Well, the juice contains an acid, which attacks a tissue, and you have a chemical reaction, which results in a sort of a hot foot, or a severe inflammation.
It sounds like the narrator's making this up as he goes.
It burns the hell out of your tongue.
And it's always the same voices, every single one of them.
That's the spirit, Mac. Eat your K rations and like it.
Wow. Eat your K rations and like it, would you?
Mac's brains are still in his stomach. Well, the man who came to dinner. Look, Mac, we're not complaining about your manners, and it's all right to be friendly with the natives. But
This animation was not up to, or is not up to par with Private Snafu. So this must have been the first iteration of Private Snafu.
Packing away is infested with germs, which are extremely difficult to digest. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, we see you, Mac. This is what you've been waiting for. Hey, Mac, in a couple of seconds, you'll have that big turkey dinner. Yum, yum, roast turkey and cranberries. And, oh, here we go again. Charge! Too bad, Mac.
I guess it's
You
true.
missed
You
the
don't
boat.
want to eat the
Then
food or
we'll
drink the
have turkey
water
again.
in every country.
Sometime. But in the meantime...
Now, that was some good advice from 1945. Spot on. Okay, let's see here. First up, habit patterns from 1954. It says, misadventures of a teenage girl who was a victim of her own bad habits. Nice, nice. Let's see. What year does it? Oh, 1954.
It's a little late for tears, isn't it, Barbara? Even though you didn't know it was going to happen today, you've still had your whole life to prepare for it. Of course, you've gotten into the habit of not being prepared. And now it's a little late, isn't it? You're a creature of habit, Barbara. We all are. Unfortunately, not all of your habits are good ones. This was how your
Tell me
day
about
started. Started wrong. Your neighbor, Helen, is a creature of habit, too. But she got up when the alarm went off. Because, Barbara, that's what she really had in mind when she said it.
Well, now I just feel personally
Helen
attacked
has trained
already.
herself to know what she's going to do.
Am I a
in what
teenage
order,
girl?
And where the things
That's the
are to
secret,
do
you
it.
guys. I'm actually a
She
teenage
really
girl
doesn't have
pretending
to
to
think
be
about it. She
a
already
bearded man.
knows what clothes she's going to wear today. As it turned out, it was a special day for Helen, too. But she makes a habit of being ready for special days. She starts by having a place for things and keeping them there. She uses taste in selecting her clothes. But more than that, she keeps them clean and mended. And she's able to match the right skirt with the right sweater. This was going to be a special day for you, but you hadn't gotten very far with your preparations for it. Was your whole family asleep? No, your mother was up. Had been for an hour.
Well, then why didn't she wake her
Get
up?
up, you'll be late for school.
Man, she waited an hour to do this?
Does she have to do this every morning, Barbara?
At least that's what the
Barbara,
teenagers
do you
say,
hear
right?
me?
If your mother stopped acting like a second alarm clock for even one day, you'd probably think it was a dirty...
Pete's sake, I hear you. I'm up.
Whoa, what were they
You
about to
didn't
say
seem
there?
at all
They cut it off. They said
Even if you're
you-
not really
it would be a dirty... What?
stopped acting like a second alarm clock for even one day, you'd probably think it was a dirty...
Pete's sake, I hear you. I'm up.
A dirty what?
You didn't seem at all appreciative. Even if you're not really well-mannered, you could make a habit of being civil. And you weren't really up when your mother called you. Little lies are such a firm foundation for big ones. You started your day with no plan at all. Looking for your hairbrush? Can't remember where you left it? You forgot other important things today. You meant to fix that collar, but you've gotten into the habit of putting things off. There are so many things you plan
Why
to
do
do
I have a
this
feeling
coming
this is going to be
Saturday
like
or the one after that.
that other clip that I showed a while ago where she's going to end up looking better than 90% of what people look like nowadays? And she's supposed to be the just god-awful example. I have a feeling that's what we're about to see here. Standards were different. Standards were different.
Oh, yes. The sweater you were looking for. You decided to cover the spots on your sweater with a scarf. You often do that. But you can't forget that the spots are there. If you had a habit plan for your mornings, you might get off to a decent start someday. Helen has a habit plan, and it includes a healthy breakfast and a pleasant word with her parents. All three always enjoyed Mr. Elliott's comments on the news.
I find that hard to believe.
It was time to get started for office and school. Helen's dad
I find it hard to believe that even in the
downtown.
50s, kids were like,
"Gee,
Dad, I sure love your commentary on the news." That's just what they showed you in the movies. Come on, that didn't really happen.
Your brother was ready, but your father couldn't wait for you. Or you could have driven to school with him. He used to enjoy that drive, too. Your eggs were cold this morning, but you had no time to be picky about food or to think about your diet. No time for milk or even to say good morning.
I told you,
No
look at
time
the way
for
she's
manners.
dressed. 10 times better than what most people do nowadays.
You made a pretty picture
Even
with your
adults.
rumpled skirt, your spotted sweater, and your hair in a tizzy. As usual, all your neighbors knew how late it was when you went by at your regular
As
dog
usual.
trot. You were late for school this morning, but then you're almost always late, and you're guilty about it. More so because your lateness is habitual. You're in a rut with a bad habit. And the longer you stick with the habit,
You're
the
in a
deeper
rut
the
with a
rut
bad
gets.
habit. Sounds
you
like the
saw
beginning
Helen,
of
you
some
suddenly
kind of
felt envious.
like an old country
But
outlaw
more than
country
that,
song
you
or
felt
something.
a distaste for your sloppy ways.
I'm in a rut with a bad
And
habit.
you knew you could do something about them if only... That wasn't a happy thought, was it? Or do you always drum with your fingers?
She seriously is put together better than almost every single person I ever see at Walmart. Actually, not pretty much. Actually is more put together than every single person that I see every time I go to Walmart.
You were just chatting away with Helen when it happened. When the day suddenly turned into
Wait,
something
she's friends
special.
with Helen? I thought Helen would have nothing
You've
to
never
do with
been
her.
friends with Ann Tolliver, and you've always wanted to be.
Hi. Hi. Some of the crowd's coming over to my house right after school. Do you think you two could make it?
Well, that'd be fun, Anne. I'd love to.
Swell.
Some of the
What
crowd.
do you say, Bobby? Sure, thanks. Okay, see you later.
Bye. That'll be fun, won't it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, bye.
Each school year sees new groups forming, old ones reforming. Yours is a changing social world, and the opportunities to be part of it must be taken when they arise. You knew this afternoon that you were making a bad impression, and you knew how easy it is not to be
A
invited
cocktail
again,
party for
and how
1950s
quickly you can
teenagers.
be left out of the crowd. You were embarrassed by your messy hair and the fingernails you had neglected to clean. You worried about the spots on your sweater, Barbara.
That is a pretty bad
What
spot on
really
that
showed
sweater,
up
I'm not
were
going to
your
lie.
habits. You didn't find it very pleasant comparing yourself with the others.
What? I said, what do you think?
You weren't listening. You seldom do. It's a habit of yours.
I guess I don't know much about it.
You weren't listening.
They were talking about a
You
popular
seldom
book.
do.
All your friends were interested, but you never got into the habit of reading books.
The whole problem was that Claudia wanted to be free to do all the things she'd never been allowed to do.
Well, that was her whole reason for leaving her family. And then she married back to the same kind of lying.
Well, that's why I think the book's stupid. Why couldn't she have seen?
No, you added nothing to that
You know, I went
conversation.
to a few parties in high school,
The trouble
and they
with
were
me
not
is
quite
getting
like this.
started. I always have to force myself to do new things.
I'm the same way. I didn't even want to go to my first concert because I thought it would be too long-haired. Oh, but the music is wonderful. I'm going to go to the whole series.
My mother had to drag me to the museum. But they have a wonderful costume exhibit there. I got an idea for a new dress.
Oh, what kind?
You've never taken an interest in music or politics or art.
We always go to the beach. Every year we take a cottage at Esp.
You've only been once.
There's wonderful swimming and lots of boys. It's quiet where we go. And there are tennis courts at the hotels, too, and dances every weekend. It sounds grand. And it's just a short way to the city.
You couldn't help interrupting, could you?
You're coming off too desperate. Come on. Calm down.
Like a rubber band.
Like
We
a
all
rubber
like to
band.
talk about ourselves. But a soliloquy isn't a conversation. First, you didn't talk at all, and then you did all the talking. Conversation is a two-way street. But for you, it's either one way or a dead
I'm telling you,
end.
this is valuable information nowadays.
Goodbye.
Most adults can't even have a get-together like this.
Goodbye, Barbara. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Oh, thank you. Bye.
In all society, at all ages, we know that people are going to talk about other people. Unfortunately, our faults are often more discussed than our good points. And sometimes our good points are completely hidden by our faults. But perhaps worst of all is our own disappointment in ourselves and the remarks we imagine our friends are making about us.
Gee, I think dirty fingernails are horrible.
Maybe she felt shy. A spotted
Okay,
sweater
well,
isn't shyness.
that is a
And bad
bit
manners
dramatic.
are still bad manners no matter what you call them.
Now, in your own room, the memory of this day stands between you and your whole pattern of behavior. Where will you start? Your complexion? That starts with soap and water and goes on to regular meals and the right kind of food. Your hair? It's more than just a shampoo when you happen to think of it. Your clothes? Not just cleaned when your mother takes them away from you, but a system of cleaning. For all a pattern, a network of habits. Helen checks her clothes for cleaning when she takes them off. That's a habit of hers.
Man, Helen's
This
a
morning,
nerd. Okay,
Helen took
Helen's
her
a
skirt from
nerd.
the front of the closet. Tonight, she hangs it in the back. That's a habit, too. One on the plus side. It gives clothes a chance to hang, rests the fabric. Tonight, Helen makes a plan for tomorrow. A what to wear, what to do, when to do it, design for living. Helen has the habit of being ready for special days.
Helen has some pretty intense eyebrows. Maybe she get in the habit
Good
of
habits save
taking care of that.
time and energy and give us greater freedom to do those extra things we want to do. Yes, a good start. But these improvements are not yet habits, not by any means. They must happen again and again until they fit into the fabric of the days without conscious thought. If you try, really try, you can root out the poor, accidental habits and establish in their place the good habits approved by custom, accepted by
I
society.
swear, I thought the narrator was about to say approved by Congress. I'm sure this film probably was approved by Congress.
Across the street, Helen's light goes out. Reasonable hours are part of her pattern. And you, Barbara, well, you've had a hard day. But staying awake to think about it won't help it any. Go to bed early for a change. Give yourself a good start on a new day.
Well done. She finally figured it out. This film was approved by Congress. I'm sure it probably says something like that at the beginning, right? Let's see. It's just Psychology for Living series. Approved by Congress. All right. On to, and this is where it's going to get serious, you guys. The Trouble with Women from 1959. We are going to find out what the trouble with women is. Specifically, what the trouble with women is in the workplace, I think, is what this is about. I've tried to figure this out my whole life, so hopefully they had the answers in 1959, and we'll find out what the trouble with women really is. Ladies, listen up, all right?
No, Betty, that's wrong. Let me show you again. You use this control.
Already.
Focus, you see?
Already.
All right, this one's
Lady
in the right-hand corner.
Screwing it up.
To lock the
Ladies are
switch.
dumb. Right off the bat. Man.
There we are. Now let's try it again.
Oh, there's someone here to see you. Are you Mr. Bradshaw, the foreman?
Yes.
Mr. Donnelly up in personnel said for me to give you this card. I'm your new bearings inspector.
Oh? Oh, well, now. I'll be with you in just a minute. No, one at a time. Well, I'll be back later to go over this with you, Betty. Just in the meantime, do the best you can. Would you follow me, please?
Sure.
I have a feeling this is going to be a great
just
film.
Have a seat here. I'll be back shortly.
Well, Mr. Bradshaw, what's on your mind?
Bearings inspector.
She's a good one, too. Just look at that record.
Okay, now, Walt, you've had your little joke. Give her to somebody else. I asked for a man.
We don't have a man with her qualifications. Seriously, Brad, if you treat her right, she might make you a darn good employee.
What do you mean, treat her right?
Get that chip off your shoulder. What's wrong with her?
She's a woman, isn't she?
Now, wait a minute. You got a lot of women in your department. What's wrong with one more?
Did you ever hear of the straw that broke the camel's back?
They're good workers. Accurate, quick to catch mistakes, a lot of patience.
Yeah, but that comes out of books. I work with them, mister. I know what happens.
What does happen?
Well, it's a long story.
Come on now, tell me. What does happen? Maybe I've been misinformed.
Not so long ago, you sent me a girl by the name of Myrtle Malloy. Remember?
I remember.
As per her qualifications.
Man, Brad is about to lay it down. This is going to get the channel taken down. This is it.
In a matter of days, that bench looked more like her dressing table.
Women always doing their damn makeup.
Joe, will you take your stuff back to table 9? That'll be your bench for the time being.
Okay, Chief.
Myrtle, we're moving you to table number 10.
Is something wrong, Mr. Bradshaw?
No, nothing's wrong. We just need this space for something else.
Well, I sure hate to give it up. It's been a nice place to work. The light's good here, and it's nicely situated right in the middle of things. I just began to feel at home.
Well, I'm sorry,
Now, that
Myrtle,
actually does
table
kind of
10
sound like
has to
something
be
a
your
woman
work
would
area for
say
the time being.
at their
You
job.
mean there's liable to be another change?
There's always that possibility.
Oh,
I certainly
Myrtle,
hope
come
I'm
on.
not moved every other day.
With man, no trouble at all. Tell him what you want and he does it. But with Myrtle, a little move is a big production.
Okay.
Now, wait a minute. You asked me, now let me tell you. Now, here's another problem.
Brad, you are not. You're gonna get. We got to read the comments after this. I'm sure Brad gets raked over the
I
coals.
wanted to tell you that the date is set for my marriage. I'll be leaving soon.
This is
Marriage?
absolutely
I
shocking
thought you
to
just
the
got
modern day.
engaged.
Well, I told you about it 6 months ago. We were only waiting till we could find a place to live.
6 months ago? Oh, brother. Well, how soon are you leaving?
Well, the end of next week.
Oh, that'll really put us in a bind around here. It takes time to break in a relief, girl.
Yes, I know it does. I wondered.
Why didn't you say something? I didn't realize you were getting married right away.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Bradshaw, but I really thought you knew. We've all been talking about it.
Okay, Brad. But how many blushing brides do you have? Besides, what's all this got to do with Dolly, the new girl? She's already married. And she's a qualified bearings inspector.
You know what I was doing when this new girl came in a few minutes ago?
No.
I was trying to cope with one of the biggest problems of all, Walt. Now, in your books, it comes under the general heading of absenteeism among women employees. Yesterday, I spent an hour and a half teaching one of our girls what she needed to know in order to start on the oscilloscope today. This morning, she isn't here, so I had to use somebody else. I don't think the girl we got on it now ever pick it up, so I'll probably have to find somebody else.
Question. All these things you've been talking about. Marriage,
Man, Brad's a hard ass.
absenteeism, personality problems. Aren't they really just a part of life?
Part of a woman's life, maybe. But I can remember the good old
This guy's
days when there were
hilarious.
all men in my department, and we didn't have these problems.
You didn't have the production output you've got now either. Look, Brad, you've got a new bearings inspector who happens to be a woman. You need someone, and there isn't a man available. It seems to me that whether the gal adds up to trouble or not is pretty much up to you.
Wait, you mean I might be the problem? That cannot be. What is Brad's trouble? Ah, they flipped it on its head. They got Brad at the end. Man, got him. That was a good one. I like that. I wonder if you can find these on DVD. All right, so this one isn't actually from the 50s. It's 1949. It's close enough. And I just wanted to watch it because supposedly it's about... It's called Act Your Age from 1949. Jim, an emotionally immature teen, learns to evaluate his personality and to do better work, or to better work out his problems. I hope Jim can at least read better than I can. I have a feeling some of this is going to be quite relevant to today and the way that people act. Jim's just going to get upset about something and yeah, here's the thing, Jim. Stop being a bitch. Oh, that's got to be Jim. Damn it, Jim. Now I sound like we're watching Star Wars. Damn it, Jim. Star Wars, Star Trek. Man, that's immortalized forever now. And everyone's gonna say, hey, Swamp actually secretly likes Star Wars. Jim, come on, if you're gonna do graffiti, don't do it with your name.
Yes, Jim, what is it?
Well, Mr.
I thought we weren't going to have any dialogue.
Miss Black wanted me to bring this to you.
Oh?
Yeah, I was worried there wasn't going to be any dialogue at all.
Why don't you sit down, Jim? I understand you have an unusual pencil, Jim.
Yes, sir. That is, it's nothing special.
But you're rather proud of it.
It has my name on it. I won it in an essay contest.
May I see it?
I really don't have any idea where this is going so far.
Personally, I think that something like this is better for carving.
Oh, got
I'll
him.
fix the desk, Mr. Edmonds. I'll sand it down and refinish it. You won't be able to tell where I scratched it at all.
That's a good idea, Jim.
I'll begin today after school.
That would be fine.
Well, what else do you want me to do, Mr. Edmonds?
Perhaps you can help me with a problem. I'd like your advice, Jim.
My advice?
Yes, I've got quite a serious problem.
And his name is Jim.
There are a great many young people in the school, Jim. Each is an individual, but in one important way, they're all alike. They're all growing up.
Is that the problem, Mr. Edmonds?
Yes, growing up is a problem. Because, well, I remember one time I watched some of the boys play ball. You've probably seen it, too. The boys were all about your age. In
Those are the
years, they're
boys
young
his
men.
age?
But sometimes
I'm not
in their
buying that for a
behavior-
second.
They act like children?
That's it. The boy batting struck out, and what a fuss he made. He was a young man in years, but the way he behaved was more in keeping with a 5-year-old. When you see a child do the same thing, you think, oh, well, he'll grow up sometime. But at 15 or 16, this boy was still reacting the same way. He was still showing violent temper when little things went wrong for him. So the question is, why doesn't he grow up?
Now you just change this to when he hears the wrong pronoun, he throws a tantrum like a 5-year-old. Jim didn't have those problems, though.
Child. How can we help him get rid of these leftovers from childish behavior? That sort of behavior we call an infantile reaction.
Infant? Well, whatever it is, it spoils the game for others. Why can't he act his age? I guess scratching a desk spoils it for others, too. Why can't I act my age, eh?
That's what
Man,
I'd like to
Jim
know.
right there has shown more introspection than almost anyone I've seen on the internet. Especially leftists and activists. Jim, you are way ahead of the curve in 1949. Killing it.
Jim? Well, you know what to do about the desk. But now this pencil. If you were a first grader, I'd just keep it, wouldn't I?
Oh, but Mr. Edmonds, I'm not a first grader.
Oh, you're not. So suppose you start fixing that desk. Come back for your pencil when you feel you're ready for it.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, Jim.
Well done, Jim.
Why can't I act my age? That's a good one. Oh, well. Fix up the desk and forget about the whole thing.
Definitely no one his age nowadays would be capable of doing this. Not
Maybe
even close.
One of these pencils will do it.
Jim,
Hey, act your age.
Jim, did you just try to use a pencil to open up a can of paint or a stain? What are you thinking, Jim? Damn it, Jim. Get it together, Jim.
Hello? Oh, Mr. Olson.
Need some help, son?
Why, yes. Do you have a knife or something to open this?
Yes, I guess so. I'm using yours to carve up a desk, I see.
No, a pencil.
A pencil? Bright crop of young fellows in this school. Every day think up a new way to act like babies. Never grow up.
Man, I guess things don't change, huh? That sounds like 90% of the stuff I complain about on my channel. Wait a minute. Does that mean I'm the fat janitor? Is that what's going on here? Sure, I'll take it. I mean, even for a janitor, I mean, look at him. He's got some style. I like it. I'm okay with it.
Do you have a knife or something to open this?
Yes, I guess so. I'm using yours to carve up a desk, I see.
No, a pencil.
A pencil? Bright crop of young fellows in this school. Every day think up a new way to act like babies. Never grow up. Still little boys playing with marbles. Pencils, knives, pulling girls' hair. Well, there's no sense in cleaning up here until you're through. I'll come back later.
Still little boys. Playing with marbles.
Damn it, Jim. You just got roasted by the school's janitor.
But maybe it's true. Remember what Bill...
All right, first super chat of the night. Catherine, thank you so much. You know what? I think I forgot to set up the super chat jukebox. All right, there we go. Now we got it. All right. Let's see what we got.
It's called the Omicron. You have to get the shot. It's called the Omicron. We have the best vaccine in the world. It's called the Omicron. You have to get the shot. It's called the Omicron. We move forward in the face of COVID-19.
The Omicron. I forgot about that one. That's a good one. Hell yeah. All right. Damn it, Jim. Get it together.
Bill did yesterday. He was sitting right there. I guess he thought no one was looking when he took Jean's notebook. Was he cheating? Probably. And that's a childish thing to do. That's a child's way out. Then there was Phyllis the other day. She seemed to be worrying about something, and when Miss Black called on her, and she wasn't ready with an answer, why, you'd have thought it was something terrible that had happened. She almost cried. Just like a little girl.
What?
Yeah, that's it. An infantile reaction. Why don't we act our age? I'm going to talk to Mr. Edmonds again. After school tomorrow.
I've given it a lot of thought, and, well, I'm not the only one, Mr. Edmonds. Everyone seems to act childish sometimes, but I don't understand just why.
Well, it's partly because of the way we grow up. Your body's growing up now, Jim. You're growing much taller these years, but it may be some years more before your shoulders really broaden out and you become fully grown.
Damn. Got him.
Emotionally is much the same.
Got him.
Different parts of our personality
Soy
grow
boy.
at different rates. Some of us never grow up entirely.
So one side of a fellow's personality could be grown up, and another still infantile. Is that right?
Yes. For example, you've seen the girl who always has to win an argument. Most of the time, she behaves like a young lady, but let someone disagree with her, well, she might just as well be 5 years old. We see reactions.
Man, this is what college campuses actually look like nowadays, right here. This is considered, this is when Ben Shapiro or Michael Knowles comes to speak at the school, or Matt Walsh. Excellent.
Children. Then there's the fellow who can't take a joke. He laughs as hard as anyone at most jokes, but when the joke's on him, watch out. His 5-year-old brother would react the same way. There's the boy who constantly shows off to gain attention. There's the girl who cries over trifles. Then remember, there's the ball player who becomes violently angry when he loses out. Those are some of the many infantile reactions we see around us every day. They indicate that a part of one's personality isn't growing up with the rest. Now, what we need is some method of measuring our growth, comparing various parts of our personalities.
Say, I have an idea, Mr. Edmonds. I think I can figure out my age. Anyway, I'd like to try.
Just a minute. Don't you want your pencil?
No, sir. I'll wait until I know how old I am.
That's a strange
Let's see.
reaction. I don't know.
How old am I? When someone disagrees with me? When someone pokes fun at me? When I want attention? When I am confused? When I don't get what I want? There. I guess those are pretty important times to watch out for infantile reactions. Now to rate my age today, and then see how well I can grow.
Oh, hello, Mr. Olson.
You again?
Damn it,
Up
Jim.
another desk already?
No, I'm just trying to figure out how old I am.
Ask your mother.
No, I mean how old I am and the way I behave.
Oh, don't rate yourself too high. I won't bother you, will I?
No, this is too important. I thought of it 2 days ago, so I made several copies of this and had my parents rate my age in each of these points, and my best friend. My rating wasn't exactly high in some places.
Dude. What a nerd. I was on the side of Jim when this was, as this was going on, but now, I mean, I guess if you want to make the chart, go ahead. And if you really want to get your parents involved in it, sure. But your friend and making multiple, this is starting to go off the rails, Jim. I'm not sure I'm a fan of this anymore.
Looks like a good rating system. What do you do now?
Well, I'll have to work hard to bring my rating up. Here, for instance, where it says, how old am I when I don't get what I want? I rated myself 10 years old, and my dad put it even lower than that. So I'm going to get in the habit of controlling my temper, and maybe next month I'll have a better rating. And by next year, I want to catch up with my real age.
That's something to look forward to.
I'll say. Well, I'm not going to tell you all my ratings, but I thought you might want a copy of this.
I certainly would. I think everyone here should rate himself and have his friends rate him this way, to make sure he grows up evenly.
And gets rid of those infantile reactions.
Man, Jim is about to become the least popular kid in school. Can you imagine just you sitting at your desk Principal walks into the class and he's like, starts passing out papers and says, we have this new chart for you to chart, how old are you in these particular areas? You do it, your teacher will do it, and have one of your friends do it. We're all going to do this. This was all brought to you by your good friend Jim, sitting right over there. This was all Jim's idea. Thank you, Jim. Feel free to thank Jim after school in the parking lot. It's just something you keep to yourself, Jim.
I'd like
Come
my
on.
pencil back now.
It's there on the desk.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Mr. Edmonds. Goodbye.
How old are you? Wouldn't you like to try rating yourself on a sheet like this?
Not especially, no. But man, they let that stay there for a while. Make sure you can write it down. But sure, let's give it a go. When someone disagrees with me, when someone pokes fun at me, when I want attention, when I'm confused, when I don't get what I want. I think I'm just going to put a solid 32. That's how old I am. No, it's probably still around 23, something like that. I mean, I can't be that, I can't be considering myself that old if I'm using a cartoon to make up fake podcasts on the internet. You don't have to be grown up in every way, like Walt Disney said there at one point. All right, that one was not particularly helpful to me. But luckily, we have another one called Snap Out of It, Emotional Balance from 1951. Discusses why an achievement-conscious boy becomes emotionally upset when he fails to get an expected A in a history course, or, alternatively, for the year 2023, when he is misgendered by his driver's license. Take it away. That was a weird cut they had there. So what does it say? Wow. They didn't really want you to read that at the beginning, did they? The Mental Health Division, Department of National Health and Welfare, Ottawa. Snap out of it.
Report cards. That can be a time of emotional upset, can't it? But here's a boy who doesn't seem concerned. In fact, he doesn't look as though he could be upset by anything. His report card is getting better. He's got a B in history. But look, he is upset. Why?
Wait, he's upset about the B when he has C's on everything else? I don't get this kid. What's going on here?
Why should anybody be upset about getting a better grade than he did before?
Hey, why you get off of that drive? I'm a brain.
I'm a brain.
Yes, even though he's shown some improvement, Howard is really upset about that report card. He isn't even going to take it home.
Oh, come on, Howard.
Quite a few of you still have your report cards out. Will you please return them tomorrow? The following, please return your report cards as soon as possible. Ann McCarthy, Howard Patterson, James Thomas. Howard Patterson, your report card is still missing.
Howard Patterson, we've been waiting for you to bring your report card in so long that when you started this, you were 16, and now you're 28.
Bring your report card. Howard Patterson, please report to the office. Mr. Edmonds would like to see you.
Oh, man. Oh, man, what's he going to do? Howard's going to lose it.
Come in.
Hey, it's our same principal.
Oh, come on in, Howard.
Are you friends with
You've had
Jim?
your report card out for over 2 weeks. Will you please make it a point to have it signed and bring it in?
I can't. I'm not going to take it home. It isn't fair.
Your grades must have disappointed you quite a bit. Are they so bad?
This is pathetic, Howard.
The usual C's, but in history,
Man.
a B. That's an improvement.
I worked for an A, and I should have gotten one.
I see. Sit down, Howard. Howard, you can't expect other people to judge your work exactly as you judge it.
I can't believe no one seems to care that he gets C's in
history.
every other
Why not
class.
accept it and work
That's a
still
lot of
harder next
C's.
time?
Oh, what's the use of trying? All you get is grades like that.
Howard, there's a very familiar pattern of behavior there. Sometimes we expect great things, but things can't always work out the way we expect. And when we're severely disappointed, we become emotionally upset. Well, let me try to give you an example of this pattern of emotional upsets. But this happened just the other day in shop class. A boy, let's call him John, was working on a lamp. His
You can't
first
fool me.
woodshop
This is
project.
Jim again.
He worked long and hard at it.
Making a bong? What is
And
it?
he dreamed of the perfect, beautiful lamp it was going to be. Now,
Instead, he
dreaming
made a marijuana
together with realistic
piece of marijuana
planning
paraphernalia.
can be very fruitful. But John's dream was not realistic. He expected perfection on his very first try.
Yeah, that is not
Naturally,
great.
he was disappointed. So disappointed that he suffered an emotional upset. He raged and stormed.
But that's childish.
Yes. It was an infantile
Yes,
reaction.
an infantile reaction, yes. Funny you should mention that, Howard. I have a chart here made by your good friend Jim that we can use to rate your emotional age.
Of course, you wouldn't react that way, would you?
Oh, no, that's silly.
But you might feel that way. Your emotional reaction is the important thing.
Oh, but there's such a difference. It was so unreasonable of him to expect a perfect lamp. But I had every right to expect an A.
Do you think it was reasonable of you to expect Miss Rogers to judge your work in the same way you did?
You mean I shouldn't try for an A?
No, that isn't what I mean. It's one thing to set high goals for yourself. It's quite another to be emotionally upset each time you miss your goal. Do you think it through, Howard?
It's quite another thing to be a whiny little bitch, Howard.
But
Oops,
you
I accidentally
might
hit. Hang
feel
on.
that way.
Where was it? Where were we?
Every right to expect an A.
Do you think it was reasonable of you to expect Miss Rogers to judge your work in the same way you did?
You mean I shouldn't try for an A?
No, that isn't what I mean. It's one thing to
set high goals for yourself. It's quite another to be emotionally upset each time you miss your goal. You think it through, Howard. See if you can figure it out. And return the card to me when you've had it signed.
Yes, sir.
All right, Howard. Think about what Mr. Edmonds said. Look around you.
None of your business. I only asked a friendly question. Well, don't.
Man, who's that one kid in the back with the
Now, what's upset
the
her? She's been
just
that way
super out of
since the
sight
opera
button-down
tryouts.
shirt? He's ahead of
This
his
was the
time,
big
man.
chance of the year for her. She wanted the leading role. Ever since the...
Man, look at that guy's shirt back there. That is funky. Like a kaleidoscope thing going on. Dude was a trendsetter in 1951.
Ever since the operetta tryouts. This was the big chance of the year for her. She wanted the leading role. She was sure she could get it. And in her own mind, she could see herself as the star of the show. But
Kind of looked like
she was
more of a
expecting
meme than
too
anything.
much. When she was offered a smaller part, she was disappointed. Expecting too much, disappointment, emotional upset, lasting for days afterward. Now look some more. There's Bill, daydreaming. That's another sign of emotional upset.
What?
You remember how it was about the class party? You
That's a
told
sweet
Bill
jacket,
if he
though.
wanted to date Alice, he'd have to ask a month ahead of time. But he just waited around until it was pretty late. He was so sure she'd wait for
Why?
him.
I mean, I guess the guy's trying to say that she gets a lot of offers. Like a lot of guys trying to ask her out. That's a very strange way. You need to ask a month in advance. Huh? And I'm still tripping out over the daydreaming as a sign of emotional upset.
And being a popular girl, she already had a date.
Oh yeah, she's a popular girl,
Expecting
all
too
right.
much, disappointment, emotional upset.
Which in 1951 just meant that she liked to hold
Well, Howard,
hands.
Do you see the pattern? It fits you, doesn't it?
Oh, Mr. Edmonds, may I see you for a minute?
Why, yes, Howard. Come on down to my office.
This guy really is like a dead ringer for Walt Disney.
I've been thinking, Mr. Edmonds. I think I understand now. Sometimes you expect things that can't possibly happen, so you're sure to be disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Sit down, Howard.
So the thing to do is to figure out what's possible, or read.
Everyone needs to show this. Everyone in college right now needs to be shown this particular scene. Listen, I don't know. What's one of those annoying modern names? Like Shiloh and I don't know. I can't think of any of the modern names that I've seen. Anyway, whatever, you know. Hey, you know, Jim, I know that you just really love the idea of a communist state and that you think it's going to be great and you're going to be able to do your watercolor finger painting interpretive dance seminars all the time. But that's just not in the cards, Jim. That's just not going to happen. That's not reality. Stop it.
Reasonable. And then you aim high, and you try for a lot, but you don't count on it.
Good. You do understand, Howard.
Only, even then you're going to be disappointed sometimes. Why, Mr. Edmonds, I'm still so upset about that grade that I haven't been able to study or do much of anything. If I go on like this, I won't even get C's next time.
Well, at least you're beginning to have some insight into your problem.
Well, thanks, but What can I do now? How do you handle disappointments when they come?
Well, let's see.
Well, Howard, I personally like the gin and cigars. That's the way I deal with it. The smoking room with a nice jacket, a gin and tonic, and an amazing cigar. That's how you do it, son.
You play basketball, don't you?
Well, yes, mostly from the bench.
Then you have plenty of chances to watch the others in action. Think, this happens fairly often.
The fellow with the ball is eager to try for a goal. He expects to get his too quick. He bottles him up. Fellows blow up, get mad. Some give up and stop trying to play. Some become all the more alert, eager, and work at it until they make it.
That's right. And I guess I've done all of those at different times.
Man, this is old. Look at all those white guys playing basketball.
Plain which is most effective, isn't it?
If your emotions are in balance, angry with yourself or with others, you don't withdraw, stifle your emotions. You don't go off in a daydream. No, you channel your emotional energy into a direct attack on your problem.
Yes. I think I see. Thanks, Mr. Edmonds.
Oh, Howard, your report card.
Thanks, Mr. Disney.
No, sir. Not yet. Tomorrow, for sure.
Better be sure, Howard.
Well, Howard, what are you going to do about that report card? You've tried hiding, running away from it. You've tried blaming the teacher. Now, are you going to attack it directly?
Dad. My report card.
I thought it was about time. Grades not so good?
I thought it was about time, but this is 1951, and I'm not that hands-on of a dad, so I wasn't going to ask about it. Now pour me a scotch, Howard.
Not bad. A B.
I thought you'd be disappointed.
Oh, maybe. A little. I was hoping for an A. But you're improving. Maybe next time.
I'll try. I'll really try.
I'm really just baffled at the fact that no one seems to give a crap that all of his other grades are C's. Well, Howard, we've already given up on you in all these other subjects. The best we can hope for is possibly an A in one. But you can't even do that right, can you?
We won't be too disappointed if I don't quite make it, will we?
If you try hard, what more can anyone expect?
Howard, if you try hard and you don't make it, you're going to see the business end of my belt, young man.
Come in. What is it, Howard?
My report card is ready, Mr. Edmonds.
That's fine.
I hope to do still better next time.
Well, now, be careful.
Oh, yes, Mr. Edmonds. I'm not expecting miracles, but I am working hard, and I'm hoping. I don't want any more emotional upsets if I can help it.
Sounds good. Sounds as if you're learning to keep your emotions in balance.
Emotions in balance. That's it. Thanks, Mr. Edmonds.
Mr. Edmonds out here saving another young man's life. Jim and Howard will never be the same. Well done, Mr. Edmonds. All right, let's see. Should we go on to how much affection? 1957. How far can young people go in petting and still stay within the bounds of personal standard and social mores? I don't think we're going to find anything more hilarious than that. Or better use of leisure time, 1950. Just says how to make the most of your free time. Huh. I think we're going to have to go with how much affection from 1957. I want to find out in 1957 what was considered an appropriate amount of petting. And oh yeah, I'm gonna have to check out the modern "How old am I" chart that you dropped in the Discord. Maybe we'll do that on we'll do that on the next stream. We can all take a test. 'Cause remember, you have to rate yourself, have a friend rate you, and then have a teacher or parent do it as well. I'll definitely check that out later. Now, I have seen videos recently of young people basically talking about this same thing, but now it's called "What is your body count?" And I have been informed by several young women on many different these man on the street videos that really, as long as she slept with under 100 men, you shouldn't really care. It shouldn't really be a big deal. Now, let's see how that contrasts with how much petting you're allowed to do in 1957. I'm starting to think that maybe there might be some major discrepancies. And there might be some major disagreements.
Mary, wait, please, Mary. I'm sorry, Mary.
Mary, is that you, dear?
Yes, Mother.
Man, what happened? I need to know what happened. Man, whatever he did, she is not digging it.
Did you have a nice time, dear?
Very nice, thanks.
Well, you don't look much like a girl who's been out having a wonderful evening.
Oh, Mom.
No, here. What's the matter, dear?
Do you remember when you told me that I might have such strong feelings about a boy that it might be hard for me to decide what's right to do?
Yes, I remember, but why?
Well, it was something like that tonight with Jeff. You know, I like him an awful lot, and we have such fun at dances. But tonight, the feeling between us kept getting stronger and stronger. On our way home, we stopped and parked. And then things seemed to happen. Do we, Neely? Well, it was so close. Suddenly I realized what we were about to do. I asked Jeff to take me home. I guess he felt ashamed, too. He said he was sorry, that it was his fault.
Do you think it was his fault?
Oh, Mother, I don't know what to think. I'm so mixed up. I don't know whether I even want to go out with Jeff again.
You know, dear, I was young once, too. Perhaps I can understand something of what you feel.
first, well, it all seems quite a lark. You like someone, he likes you. Everything is fun and affection. Then, all at once, you can find yourself in a situation where your physical urges fight against your reason.
Man, this was very
Fine
risque in
thoughts of love
1957,
and
I'm sure.
can suddenly get twisted.
Mother, is it wrong to feel warm and affectionate when you're with a boy you really like?
No, dear, it is not wrong. Because this feeling can grow into a love that will last. It's the way happy
I was hoping
marriages
for
are built.
some, funny
But
stuff
Mary,
like the
strong feelings
stories
lead
of
you
Jim and
into
Howard. This is just
behaving
kind of weird.
unwisely. Well, the outcome can be guilt and frustration. And these are the things
The way they have her
that
looking
can
right into the
spoil
camera and
chance of
talking to you,
your
this
finding
is,
the very love
I don't
that
know.
you're looking for.
Then, Mother, how do you...
Come here, dear. In the height of emotion, it's not always easy to stop and think things through. But if you'll just
Man, are they going to have
slow
the
down
full
the rush and
birds and the
pressure of your
bees
feelings
talk
a little,
right here?
then judgment has a better chance to take hold and guide you away from wrong behavior. When you can rely on judgment rather than emotion to rule your behavior, as you did tonight, then you'll really be grown up. I can help by talking things over with you and giving suggestions, but you'll have to work out your own best way to make emotions work for you and not against you.
Gee, thanks, Mom. Party for all staff and friends of the Signpost. That's what I'm talking about.
Hi.
Hi.
This is very awkward. I highly doubt that it said that. Maybe I said that, but I highly doubt. Oh, no, it's just because the stylized way they did it. The A is in front of the P. It could be farty. This scene right here, when he's just like walking around, seems like it should be in the Trouble with Women video.
Hi.
Hi.
Super awkward.
Mary, I'd just like to say I'm sorry about what happened last Saturday. It wasn't because I think of you as that kind of girl or anything like that. It's just that
I wish you were that kind of girl.
You're so terrific, and we'd been together all evening, and I just don't know what happened to me.
It was just as much my fault as it was yours. I shouldn't have stayed out so late anyway.
You're the nicest girl I've ever met, and we have so much fun together that I'd sure hate to ruin everything.
So would I.
Oh man, is it time for the party? Yeah.
Okay, now, is everything just about finished? The last spectacular issue of this year's Signpost has to be ready for the lucky students of Central High the day after tomorrow. Mary, how's that literary page shaping up?
It's not very spectacular. One story and one poem, and that's all.
Stu?
Just the pictures.
Yeah, we need more pictures, don't we?
Drawings would be cheaper.
Wait a minute. Is this supposed to be like a high school newspaper? Are these supposed to be high school kids? I don't understand. Wait, what? Let's go. What did the sign say? It doesn't really say. Well, it says final issue, so I guess final issue of the year. So yeah, I guess this is supposed to be some high school kids.
Now I guess he's got to keep any job just so he can look after Eileen and the baby.
Arlene was a real good friend of mine. Was I surprised when she left school? Gee. And then when she got married.
Imagine marrying someone who has to marry you.
Well, this isn't solving our picture problem.
Hey,
He could
Terry,
be in
I
high
got
school
it.
for sure.
Eileen had a whole bunch of cartoons we didn't use last year. I bet we could use some of those.
Why didn't you think of that?
Just stupid, I guess.
Okay, everybody, same time tomorrow afternoon. Gotta rush through the pool reading and then...
Yeah, wow, what an intense meeting. They deserve a party after that.
Let's get the paper up before we start thinking about Friday. We'll see you tomorrow then. Okay, take it easy. Stu, I'll see you later, huh? Come on, Jeff.
Mary? How'd you like to go to the party with me Friday night?
Okay, Jeff. Maybe we could double date with Marge and Stu. They'd probably like a ride over.
Yeah, sure.
Marge
Come on,
and
I'll help.
Stu.
Jeff, isn't that Eileen?
Oh man, the high
Sure
school
is.
dropout
Baby
who
and
got
all.
pregnant.
Gee, I haven't seen her since she left school.
Wow.
That looks like Mary and
It is,
Jeff.
it is not, she's not
I
aged
wonder if
well.
they'll say hello to me. Maybe they'll cross the street so they won't have to.
Hi, Mary. Hi, Jeff.
How are you?
Nice
Fine.
to see you again.
Oh, look at her. Eileen, she's sweet. Blonde like you, huh?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Susan Elizabeth.
Oh, that's a darling name. Susie.
Is she a lot of trouble, Eileen? Well, it's tiring, but it's not too bad when Fred gives me a hand. Of course, he's not used to babies, but he's a real whiz at changing diapers. You should see him. Of course, he just adores Susie. He'd do anything for her. When she grows up, he wants to give her everything.
Wow, this is intense. I thought this was supposed to be funny.
Say, how's Fred getting along anyway? I hear he's got
Saying
a job
how
at
great
the
it is, and
mill.
he's just sitting there
Oh,
pissed
Fred's
off,
doing just
smoking.
fine. Of course, it's not the kind of job he planned on, but still, he enjoys it. He really looks forward to going to work every morning. He says it's a lot better than school. And he's
It's like
making
he's
a lot
still
of money.
unemployed, huh?
It's nice he's doing so well. Why don't we ever see you anymore?
Oh, well, we don't seem to get out much. Of course, having an apartment of your own keeps you kind of busy. Besides, we both enjoy spending a quiet evening together at home.
Well, it sounds as if things are working out okay for you and Fred, eh?
Oh, yes, we're getting along just fine. Only sometimes I wish we had had more time to work things out.
The kids up at the signpost office were asking about you today. They all wish you were there this year to do the artwork. There's nobody there that can do it as well.
Oh. I sure miss the gang and all the fun we used to have in school.
The last issue's coming out in a couple of days. We're having a big wind-up party at Terry's place on Friday.
Well, I think we'd better be going now, Mary. Well, nice to see you again, Eileen. Say hello to Fred for me, will you, please?
Sure. It was nice seeing you again, Eileen.
Bye.
Goodbye
Sure nice
now.
seeing you.
So the gang's having a party. They'll have a lot of fun.
I feel like I've been misled on how entertaining this one was going to be. But these dance moves are pretty awesome. So maybe, there is that. Man, that is one badass phonograph player. What the? Turns the light off. He's putting the moves on.
Oh, Jeff, isn't it a wonderful night?
Yeah, you're pretty wonderful too, Mary.
Oh, here, this is where it comes in. How much petting is too much petting?
We've been going for quite a while now, haven't we? You're the nicest girl I've ever met, Mary.
Yeah, you've said that once before. You need a new line, buddy. More than one line would be great.
Mary, would you wear my school ring?
Yes, Jeff.
You know, for being such a doofus, Jeff is really putting the moves on. I have to go home now.
Let's go back and dance.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Principal Edwards or whatever. The Principal Disney to walk in and give him some life advice, something to really think about. Principal Disney is going to walk in with his "What age are you?" chart from Jim and say, "I want everyone to fill these out now."
Good night, Terry. Thanks a lot.
Hey, Mary.
Good night, Helen.
Hey, Marge, Stu, huh? Good night, Terry. We'll see you. Swell party. Good night.
It's Marge and Stu, huh? Mystery solved.
Hey, Stu, I hate to break things up, but we're at Marge's house.
Oh. Here already? Well,
Marge doesn't look like she was really enjoying it.
Talk a while, eh?
No, I think this is the end of the line, Stu.
Well, what's the matter? Half the kids will be up there.
No, come on, Stu.
Boy, did you turn out to be a pill.
Oh,
what's
man.
The matter?
Stu's the bad
can't you go along
influence,
with
the
everyone
peer
else?
pressure.
Don't you and Mary like each other anymore or something?
Clear out, Stu, huh?
Come on, Marge.
Damn it, Stu.
Jeff, thanks for the ride.
You're the one being a pill.
And don't wait for me.
Guess I must be pretty popular with them.
Yeah, that is a sweet car.
Lights are on. I guess Mom and Dad are still up. How'd you like to come in and have a sandwich? They'd be glad to see you.
Yeah, sure.
Good.
What was the point of this again? What are we watching? I don't really remember.
Mom and Dad went out with the Wilsons. They won't be back until about 2.
2?
Well, what
Well,
would you like
apparently
on your
the
sandwich?
Wilsons are the family that they're swinging with.
mind.
They're going to be back
Anything
till
will be
2?
fine. How about you?
Oh, I don't care. You say.
Well, what you got?
I've got ham, tomato, cucumber,
Yeah.
and bacon, and peanut butter. We've got a whole restaurant.
A whole restaurant.
If you'll just slow down the rush and pressure of your feelings a little, then judgment has a better chance to take
Man, that voiceover.
We have so much fun together that I'd sure hate to ruin everything.
That was it? That was it? Yeah, wow. That is just not relatable. In today's day and age, I guess. Wow. I was hoping that was going to be good, and then we could watch the whole series that this was from. The Your Marriage and Family Living. How do you know it's love? When should I marry? But I don't think I'm going to watch any more of those. Let's see. Are you popular? Don't be a sucker. We watched that one. Let's do one more. Am I trustworthy? How to get a job, 1949. Telephone courtesy. Wow. Let's learn how you're supposed to talk on the phone, because that is 100% a skill that does not exist anymore. Let's see what it says. Oh, that's not a description at all.
Sometime next week, maybe.
I can already tell that this one's going to be more entertaining than the last one. That's the special effects I'm talking about.
And I'm too busy to argue about it. Yeah, that dope's right over here. If I can reach it.
Nicely done. What is this, the Three Stooges?
What do you want?
Wow.
Oh, he's not in. I don't know.
Oh, man. The trouble with women in the workplace, am I right?
Burton Supply Company. The accounting department? Surely. You're welcome. Yes, Mr. Stevens. Universal? No, they haven't called today. I'll get them for you right away.
Man, phones used to be way
Would you tell
cooler.
Henry, I mean, Mr. Burton, that Mr. Hopper's here, please?
Oh, yes, Mr. Hopper. He's expecting you. But he's on long distance now.
Well, that's quite all right. I'll wait.
Care to see the paper?
Mr. Johnson?
Thank you.
Mr. Stevens calling. Just a minute. Burton Supply Company. Shipping room? Yes, sir, I'll do that. Burton Supply Company. Oh, Mr. Lusk is out of town today. Mr. Whiteside will handle that matter for you. Yes, sir, I'll connect you. You're welcome. Yes, Mr. Patterson? Oh, you'll be in the stock room? Surely, I'll transfer your calls to the stock room all day.
The hell is he doing in the stock room all day? Something fishy going on here.
Burton Supply Company. Mr. Wilson? Thank you.
Mr. Burton's finished, Mr. Hopper. Go right in.
How's that?
You may go in now.
Oh, thank you.
He's too busy looking at this foxy dame.
Henry! Hello.
Well, if it isn't Ted Hopper. How are things out on the coast?
Great, great. Are you ready for lunch?
Sure, Ted. As soon as I take care of one more telephone call. Should be in any time now. Here, sit down. Make yourself comfortable.
Ah, thanks.
Cigarette?
Sure.
Well, Ted, it's good to see you again.
Say, what sort of magic do you work around here?
Same old Ted, always talking in riddles. What do you mean magic? I'm no Houdini.
You must have something to lure that gal here. The one who runs your switchboard out
I told
there.
you. Told you that's what he was
You mean
doing.
Miss Tanner? I don't know what her name is, but that girl sure knows how to handle a switchboard.
Yep, she's good, all right.
And you know
Still
what?
the master
You
of
would think
understatement, aren't you, Henry?
nowadays that would be a euphemism.
she's good,
Back
all right.
then, it wasn't. He meant that literally.
He's the same operator we've had all along.
Yeah?
Sounds like you've been impressed.
You know what? I think I'll kidnap her.
What for?
What for?
The hell?
Because telephone habits in my office could stand a shot in the arm, that's what for. Well, aren't you worried about my wanting your gal?
Look, Ted, just stealing my switchboard operator won't solve your telephone problems. Or anybody else's, for that matter.
That's all. Says who?
You'll need the Bell San Francisco Telephone Company for that.
But the rest of my organization
Boy,
is
let
good,
me
too.
tell you.
They're just telephone-wise.
Telephone-wise? What's the magic formula?
Look, I told you before, there's no magic at all. It's very simple. It all started several months ago, when I was very anxious to get to the office early one morning. Had an important business conference coming up. A miserable day for my car to break down. Of course, with the rain, all the taxis were taken. So
Why did he
about
wait
the
so
only
long
thing
to
do
roll
was
up his
call the
damn
office.
window?
Oh, why don't they answer?
Man, they need a new gal working on their telephones. I tell you what.
Hello?
Well, it's about time. Get me Bill Johnson.
Who? What do you want? Oh, just a minute.
Who? What? What you want? Wow. She is just awful.
I didn't get the name. Who'd you want?
Mr. William C. Johnson. Johnson of the accounting department. And don't take all day.
Hey, that's my grandpa.
I'll see if he's in.
What do you mean?
William
I'll
C.
see if he's in?
Johnson.
Don't you know?
Oh, is this Mr. Burton?
Yes!
Well, yes, sir. I'll get Johnson. I'll get Mr. Johnson right away. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Well, it was a struggle, but I finally got Johnson, and he took care of the arrangements for the conference. But I started thinking things over. It's funny, always when I called before, I was treated like a king. But this time, she didn't recognize my voice at first. She was pretty indifferent, disinterested.
It's
I
just
began to
another
notice a
episode of The Trouble with Women.
All telephone calls at the office, particularly customers, got kicked around. Wonder if that could have anything to do with our sales dropping off with Universal. Maybe Acme didn't call back last week because... Yeah. Right then and there, I decided to look into this telephone situation. At the office, my eyes and ears got a real workout. Thoughtless telephone habits all over the place, although my employers didn't realize it. For example, customers were kept waiting forever, it seemed.
This is Miss Gower from the Burton Supply Company. I just wanted to check with you
Who
about
the hell is running this
Garbled their
outfit?
conversation so much that even I couldn't understand them, let alone the customer at the other end of the line.
Go ahead with it. Now, if we don't have these two things by this afternoon, I wish you'd check back with me.
Oh, come on. No one would do that.
Shares of the fourth received, comma.
Even
and
in...
subsequent orders
What year
will
was
be
this?
shipped commensurate with existing stocks, pursuant to our agreement
Oh,
as
it doesn't
of
say.
the 12th
Well,
period.
no one would do that even in the 50s when women were dumb as a box of rocks, apparently.
We had adhered to our strict policy as outlined in our previous letter. Hello? Hello? Guess they hung up. Well, couldn't have been very important. Now, let's see.
Well, it didn't take much looking around my office to see we had a plain case of bad telephone manners. It began to worry me. Something ought to be done. But I was no expert on telephone manners. The telephone company. Why, I must have passed this building 1,000 times. Never entered my head to go in. But why not? Maybe they could help. Got nothing to lose. What'd I mean, maybe they could help? Of course they could. They'd feel that's part of their job. I told them my story. Then I asked if I could borrow their ideas of good
Wait, the telephone
manners.
company that, like, provides the phones and the service, part of their job is to train your staff on how to be polite on the
The
phone?
telephone company came over to look around the
That
office.
seems kind of bizarre.
He noticed a lot of thoughtless habits I had missed, including some of my own. And then, knowing what was wrong, I had confidence to go ahead.
So you picked up a lot of pamphlets and stuff and put one in each pay envelope as a surprise.
No, Ted, I'm serious. As soon as I knew what the trouble was, I thought the best way to convince my people of proper telephone usage and the dividends it pays was to show them. So I put on a telephone show.
And now you're in the show business. Henry Burton, the poor man's Cecil B. DeMille.
Joke all you want to, Ted, but that show got results. Held it in the stockroom.
Did it, though?
Actually, anybody
Did it get
could put on a
results,
show
or was
like
it something
mine.
that everyone there was like,
2
son of a
desks and
bitch?
a couple of
Is this
telephones.
required? Do I have to do this? Can I go back to work?
And started with an important point which they hadn't realized. In a business like ours, telephoning is as important as personal visits of our salesmen. Good habits please our customers. Bad habits only irritate them. Telephone courtesy not only makes work easier, it makes our customers feel welcome and impresses them that we're glad to do business with them. Let's look at it this way. The telephone is meant to work for us. Yes, that's right, work for us. The important thing is knowing how to put it to work properly. Good telephone manners aren't difficult, they're easy and natural. Let's run through a few fundamentals. First off, when you're making a call, be sure you have the right number. So if you're not sure, look it
Wait,
up
they
in the
had
directory
to...
or your list.
You had to
frequently
teach
called
people
numbers.
this? Make sure you don't just put in
your
any
time,
random
wrong
number that
numbers,
you think of and hope that you get the right
disturbing
person.
Someone who is not at all interested in your call. Now, when you're going to dial a number, wait for the dial tone. You're
Wow.
all familiar with it. It's the hum you hear in the receiver, like this. This tone is the same as the operator saying, "Number, please." It tells you the equipment is ready to handle your call. Now, if you start dialing before you hear that hum, you'll either get the wrong number or no number at all. So wait for the dial tone. It's another time saver. When it's necessary to signal the operator, do it this way, a definite rhythm. If you pump up and down impatiently like this, about the only thing you're likely to get is high blood pressure.
But that's what they always do in the
Clear, me
movies.
telling you how to
Everyone
talk to
does
the
that in the
telephone, but
movies.
it's surprising how many of us make careless mistakes. Here's what I mean. Speak clearly in a conversational tone, like this, directly into the mouthpiece. Try to avoid talking too fast, and
Wow.
by all means, never talk with anything in your mouth, or you'll sound as if you have a mouthful of mush. The Chelsea department store, send me over 4 prefabricated houses right away.
How did people not know
Now,
that?
you get the idea.
People didn't
Same
get
with
that.
Pipe, chewing gum, or cigarettes. They clutter up your speech and make you hard to be understood. And worst of all, it's very rude.
Did they think there was some kind of noise-canceling filter that...
From beginning to end.
Sure, they sounded like crap on their end, but they thought somehow it was getting to the people sounding good?
Go with the telephone just as cheese goes with apple pie. If you have these handy,
I'm sorry,
you
what?
won't have to hunt all over the place for something to write on when you're in the middle of a call.
Cheese goes
By
with
the
apple
way,
pie?
It's a good habit to take notes on telephone conversations because they'll serve as reminders for you. Now we're ready for an incoming call. Answer
Clearly
your
we have some
telephone
cultural and generational barriers here. Cheese and apple
If
pie.
your phone rings on
What?
and on 6 or 8 times, the caller can easily get the idea that we're not interested in his call. Besides, you all know how that endless ringing of somebody else's phone disturbs you. Then answer by identifying yourself, and the office if necessary. Don't just say hello. It's old-fashioned and wastes time. You all know
Old-fashioned.
what I mean.
Hello? Oh, hello. Who's calling? Well, what number is it? Well, what number are you calling? Well, I'm calling your number. Oh, is that you, Myrtle? Yes, who's that?
What?
Hortense? Yes, this is Hortense. Oh, hello. Hello.
Fantastic. Oh, those silly
You
boomers.
see what I mean? Now, the right way to answer your telephone is, well, you've all noticed how the Acme people
Myrtle,
handle
is
their
that
calls.
you?
Credit Department, Mr. Stevens.
Mr. Andrews' office, Miss Carter speaking.
Just like that, and I know you've seen it happen many, many times. That's the quickest
Excellent.
way to let the customer know who's answering and how to continue his conversation. But no matter whose phone you're answering, your own or anybody else's, always make your customer feel that you're interested in his call. Be obliging and polite. Then, when you're sure he's finished, bring the conversation to a definite, courteous close, like this. Yes, that's fine. Thanks for calling, Mr. Frisbee. Goodbye. A pleasant thank you.
Mr.
goodbye
Frisbee?
is much
Or
better
Mr.
than hanging
Brisbee?
up maybe while the other party is still talking or
I'm
listening.
going with Mr. Frisbee.
Just being considerate. Oh, yes. And when you hang up, put the telephone securely on its base, making sure it rests squarely on the cradle. See that there are no books or other objects in the way. You'd be surprised how these suggestions for proper telephone usage add up to make your working day more enjoyable.
Is there anything special for long-distance calls, Mr. Burton?
The same simple rules apply. However, there's one thing particularly important for out-of-town calling. If for any reason your call doesn't go through right away, stay near your telephone until it does go through.
Thank you.
If you must leave your office, let the operator know where you can be reached and
Man.
when you expect to be back. Or
This is,
leave a note by your telephone explaining where you
Pretty
are.
dry. Oh, wow. Look at
Like
this
this.
amazing note he's got. Gone to the
Making
stock
a
room.
habit of telling the switchboard operator where you are is a good idea, whether you expect a call or not. Then she won't have to hunt all over the place for you when you're out of your office. Now, here's a time saver. Keep information handy so you won't irritate customers by keeping them waiting while you leave the telephone and work yourself into a lather hoping to find...
Come on,
what
a
you're
lot of
looking
this stuff is common sense that you would think that, sure, okay, maybe, you know, there's the things that, you know, technical things that they needed to know, but be polite. That's one of the things that they needed to explain. Here's the thing, when you answer the phone, don't be a jerk. Oh, well. Thank you for that. I don't need to hear any more about phone etiquette. I don't know about you guys. Besides, no one talks on the phone anymore. Developing Self-Reliance from 1951. Hey, it looks like Jim from the other story. Is it Jim and Walt again? That could be Jim right there. Steps to self-reliance. Assume responsibility, be informed, know where you're going, make your own decisions. Well, there you go. All right, guys, let's watch one more. One more of the old cartoons, and then we'll call it a night. Let's see here. You know, some more Private Snafu. Man, I can't remember which ones we've already watched. Private Snafu, The Home Front. Have we seen this one? Oh no, we gotta watch this one. Dude. Oh my gosh, this looks ridiculous. And the thumbnail looks slightly racist. And if it's not slightly racist, then it's not from 1945. That's all I'm saying. Private Snafu. Let's do it.
This is the story of an outcast, now a hunted wanderer over the face of the globe. She lived life to the full, and in her wake, she left a trail of broken men. Now a fugitive, battered and beaten, she spends her numbered days in a miserable hideout. You all know her name, Anopheles Annie, the malaria mosquito.
Oh, of course. We all know her name.
To look at me now, you wouldn't hardly believe it. But back in the good old days, I was really some stuff. Yeah, it was a cinch for a gal to get along when I was young and good-looking. But times have changed. Why, I used to be the toast of the hot spots, queen of the swamps. The world was my playground.
Queen of the swamps.
The South Pacific, India, North Africa, Italy. Yep. All over the world. I knocked them on their heels. I took my drink straight. But the boys got theirs mixed with a Mickey Finn.
What?
My percentages was going up when the big shots turned on the heat. It was the same old vice squad that made it hot for me down in Panama. Parasitologists, entomologists, malariologists.
Malariologist?
Entomologists in the country.
Well, that sounds
got on
fake.
my trail. And I do mean trail. They started a cleanup. First, they wised the boys up.
Oh, it's just sad, you know? It's sad.
move in on us. They smashed up our hangouts. They really poured it on with oil.
With
They
oil?
dusted us off with Paris green. They busted in all the joints from Burma to Bizerti. The racket's getting tougher.
So they're saying we filled in
The percentages
swamps and
ain't what
stuff
it
to get
used
rid of
be.
mosquitoes?
But thanks to Snafu,
We could never do that anymore.
a smart operator can still sneak in for a one-night stand.
Pipe the torso. Look at those knees. He don't care where he goes. He's wide open.
Repellent? He never touches the stuff. And that goes for the Atterbreen, too.
What a loser.
Well, dearie, as long as that guy's around, a little gal can still make an honest living.
What a weird way to tell that story. I dig it. I'm all about it. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the advice from 1950s Living. You've learned how to act your age, how to talk on the phone, and you've learned the trouble with women. Happy Memorial Day. Check out the merch if you haven't. Be armed, be dangerous, be moral. Trucker hats, shirts. Some good stuff, some good stuff. And of course, if you want to donate to my AR-15 fund and ammo fund, you can check out do it on the PayPal. And of course, you know, merch itself is obviously donating to that as well. Yeah, I hope you guys had a good Memorial Day. Had a good day off. And I'll see you guys next time.